Honestly, Vine should make a comeback. It'd be a whole lot better than TikTok. This is Hot Takes.
I don't like Chick-fil-A.
Taylor Swift is overrated.
If you drive a pickup truck for reasons that are other than employment related, I don't like you.
Listen to your friends who care about astrology.
Escape rooms are fun.
What is your hot take?
Drop a hot take.
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 Welcome back to Hot Takes. I'm your host, Ian Isaiah. Today, we are going to be flipping it around a little bit. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time. It's just about finding time and whatever. So I'm going to switch it up a bit. In the past, I had just covered one news story and I tried to do multiple videos a week. I don't have time for that anymore. So we're going to do a quick rundown of a recap of the news from the past couple weeks or so, and then we'll see if I can keep it up every week. If not, it'll be every other week, and so on and so forth. We'll just see how it works out. For this first story, Elon Musk might be looking to bring back Vine. Twitter might be considering reviving Vine in the near future. Elon Musk recently conducted a poll suggesting the return of Vine just a few minutes ago. And this was yesterday. According to Axios report on October 31st, Elon Musk allegedly directed Twitter engineers to start developing a Vine reboot. I mean, go for it, Musk. A lot of people were saying, oh, we should just leave Vine in the past. It's already had its time. Here's a comment. Even if it did come back, it won't hit the same like it did in 2014. Maybe, maybe not. Somebody else said old TikTok. That was Musical.ly, not Vine. Honestly, Vine, we should try to make it a comeback. Although it's very interesting, why did Vine die in the first place? Isn't it because people weren't interested in it anymore? I don't know. Maybe you guys do. I think, hey, we should try it. At least it's better than people ranting for 5 minutes on TikTok, which I mean, I do that too, but you know, Vine is better because it's just 7-second videos and you can do whatever the heck you want and it's silly and it's fun and it's casual and it's great and you can't really do a whole lot because it's literally 7 seconds and it's awesome. Yes, I think Vine would be awesome if it came back, and honestly, it would be better than having TikTok. It really would. Obviously, like always, you are entitled to your own opinion. That is how I feel. Next story. You're telling me that people don't take things out of context? Watch this video with me that blew up this week.
This video of firefighters destroying a stork's nest is going viral, and you won't believe what happened at the end. The video shows some firefighters spraying water on a stork's nest, and it appears as though they are trying to destroy it. After they spray it with water for a few minutes, the nest is completely destroyed. You can see the strength of the nest and the effort the stork has put in to build it. A few minutes after the nest is destroyed, the stork comes back with some new sticks for her nest, but her heart is broken when she sees that her nest is completely destroyed. She stops on the spot and begins clattering. But the truth of the story is that the firefighters actually had to do this because the nest caught fire, and the next part that no one is showing is really heartwarming. The firefighters came back with a metal construction that they made to build a new, more secure nest for the stork. They even put the same sticks on it, and the stork loved her new home.
Gee, people don't take things out of context? I mean, honestly, this is so disheartening, but if people are taking things like this out of context, imagine how much things are getting taken out of context when it comes to things like politics and religion. This is just a simple viral video of some firefighters putting out a fire, and people are trying to turn it on its head like firefighters are the worst people ever, firefighters do this, firefighters are hateful for animals, whatever. Guys, this is why it's important to try to find the full video and watch the whole thing if you can, because it's so funny how things are trying to get twisted everywhere. So yeah, it's wild. Anyway, I just thought I'd show that because, you know, it's a wholesome video. If you watch the whole thing, it got me at first too. I was like, oh my goodness, that's so heartless. And I also thought, well, they have to do it because it's on power lines. But if you watch the whole thing, you get context, right? I remember a quote from a preacher when I was younger, and this is one of my favorite quotes ever. And he always said, text without context is just a con. I think that quote is so important, and it encapsulates everything with people taking things out of context. Speaking of things that are taken out of context, here's this article from the Washington Post. Police fire 96 shots in 41 seconds, killing black man during traffic stop. Now, I'm sure you've already heard of this incident, but this is a man by the name of Dexter Reed. Dexter Reed was allegedly just pulled over for a seatbelt violation, and police shot him and killed him. Sounds gruesome, right? Let's watch the full video.
This morning, independent investigators in Chicago reviewing evidence to determine how a traffic stop turned deadly. Newly released Chicago police body camera video capturing the incident that ended with officers firing a barrage of bullets, killing 26-year-old Dexter Reed.
Don't roll the window up. Don't roll the window up.
All unfolding just after 6 p.m. March 21st. Reed in the driver's seat of his white SUV, surrounded by 5 plainclothes tactical officers, guns drawn, who initially pulled him over for not wearing a seatbelt.
Unlock the doors now!
In the video, Reed appears to ignore commands.
Open the door now!
That's when Reed, investigators say, fired at officers first. Striking this officer in the wrist.
Shocking. He fired first. So again, if you watch the full video, you get the context. He shot first. WAPO would love for you to believe that he was just innocently killed by these horrible white men. They shot at this poor black man because of a traffic stop, and they abuse their power. That's what Washington Post would like you to believe. But if you watch the full video, you get the full context. Is anyone surprised? I'm not. I'm not surprised. Hi there, Washington Post. You didn't tell the full story, but you know that because you just want people to fall into your lies and deceit. And that's why mainstream media is no longer being trusted by anyone and no longer becoming mainstream media. You guys, Washington Post, New York Times, NBC, CNN, there's a reason why sites like Puberty and Wall Street Journal are being trusted so much more than you guys. Because you lie. Up next, we have this Domino's ad, which is something that I saw this week. I know this may seem a bit abrupt compared to the last story we just covered. Domino's apparently wants you to think that a little treat for yourself is all of that crap. That whole sheet of brownies, that whole tub of mozzarella sticks, the 5 pizzas in the background or whatever that is. That's just a little treat for yourself. I mean, you heard it here, folks. It shouldn't be surprising, but Domino's wants you to be fat and lazy. Look at me. I don't eat Domino's, okay? Domino's apparently just wants you to sit around and be fat and lazy. And Domino's, stop campaigning for this, okay? First of all, people shouldn't be eating your crap all the time. But second of all, that is not a little treat, okay? That is a ridiculous amount of food. And whether you're joking or not, it doesn't matter because it's not appropriate in today's society when everybody is 300 pounds and growing. Speaking of places you shouldn't spend your money, is this what Ukraine is doing with all of those tax dollars?
Days like today that I love my job. Sheesh. This is the Atlas ATV. It's made in Ukraine. And it's insane. Not only do you get these giant 5-foot tires, they can air all the way down to 0 PSI and all the way back up. And it does all that using the exhaust. And because these are so thick, they act as paddles whenever you're driving in the water. And it can crab walk. And if I open the back, you get a ton of storage because it's practical. I have 2 seats here in the back. I have a fold-out table with a cup holder. I have a grab handle.
Yeah. Okay, so then he's gonna go into all the details. Is this really what we're sending our money over for? Is for Ukraine to build toys? I mean, that's basically what this is. It's just a 10,000-pound toy. You can say it's a military vehicle, but they don't have to do all of that to build a military vehicle. Are you kidding me? That is just... forget that. Why are we paying for that? When people over here are struggling to afford 3 meals for the day, are struggling to afford to pay for their families and for their housing. This is unacceptable. Now, do I think it should be the government's job to pay for all of these people? I don't know. I definitely think that the government should be helping, but I don't think that people should get too used to the government paying for it. Absolutely not. But regardless, I mean, it shouldn't be that people are not being able to afford things because of the government. That is taking it over the top. I mean, guys, America first, please. If Ukraine is suffering, Ukraine is suffering. I know that sounds heartless, but we gotta take care of our own stuff before we try to help somebody else. Okay, America is struggling. We are struggling. We are holding on to the rope and there's one strand left, okay? We need somebody to rescue us. And it's not gonna help us if we're sending all of our money overseas so that Ukraine can build this crap. Speaking of crap, this next video is, I don't even know what's happening. An old guy pretending to be trans or just a pervert. I have no idea. Let's watch this one.
If your gym shorts don't make you look like an absolute then they're not the right ones for you.
Like, I'm sorry, this is one of the worst videos I think I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. You're a perv. You are a perv. This is disgusting. I don't know if you're trying to impersonate a little girl or you're trying to get attention from little girls, but this is just weird. And I'm gonna call you out for it because this is disgusting. Nobody should be behaving like this in their right mind. Ever. Ever. Not appropriate. Knock it off, you disgusting creep. Now to go from creep to cute, the last thing I have on the docket today is much more heartwarming. Let's take a look at this wonderful, beautiful video.
For most of her adult life, 69-year-old Jean Gustafson has suffered from chronic regret.
Can't turn back the clock. I wish I could.
Would you do anything different?
Yes, I would have married him. I would have married him.
What Jean so regrets is breaking up with her college sweetheart.
My mother was absolutely livid. I mean,
what did she say?
What didn't she say? How could I disgrace the family? It was not pretty.
Partly because of those pressures, Jean broke up with Steve Watts and never saw him again. Until last year, when she tracked him down at this Chicago nursing home.
What I found was sort of a broken man.
But life for him had been much harder. He'd fallen on terrible times. He was homeless, had 2 strokes, and was almost unrecognizable the day Jean walked back into his life.
But he's still the wonderful, gorgeous man that I knew.
Did all those feelings come rushing back?
Yes, for both of us.
Jean made arrangements to move Steve from the nursing home to her home in Portland, Oregon.
I feel terribly lucky that I get a second chance.
Steve's health issues have left him bedridden, but his mind is sharp and his heart young. If you listen closely, you can still hear his devotion.
Always love you.
It's so sweet. This is awesome, but it's like bittersweet because it's a sad reminder that you need to jump on things so that you don't live with regret. But it's also a sweet reminder of how powerful love is. But this is why it's so important that if you think they are the one, you need to jump on it. And if they're not the one, then you don't be wasting your time with that person. Or else you could be living a life of regret. Dang, I just wasted 10 years of my life with this person and they just dumped me because they weren't ready for a marriage. That's sad. And I think this is just anything in life. If you even have the sneaking suspicion that you want to do something, go try to do it. If it's not for you, then the doors will be closed. But if you want to do it, you got to go do it. I know that sounds like a very simplified way to say something like that, but it's very true. Don't spend your life living with regret because you said I coulda, woulda, shoulda. Instead, say, I did, I can, and I will. And on that note, I think that covers pretty much everything this week. Obviously, if there's something I didn't cover, I'll cover it next week. Guys, I'm working on the lighting for all of you lighting gurus out there. I have a new desk and lights coming soon, so don't worry about that. Hopefully that'll be set up in a few weeks. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoy this new format, if it's something you're interested in, and if there's a story you see and you want to send it in to me, feel free to DM me on Instagram at Ian Talks Hot Takes, and I'll try to cover it within the next couple of weeks. But for now, this is all I have for you guys, and so until next time, see you guys.